Thank you for accepting the invite to meet Kalyan. It's a pleasure having you here, and it's been like knowing like-minded peoples, having industry leaders is one of those great, and having the talks, right, and open talk is what I believe in general. In Tudip is one of those companies who's pioneering in AI, trying to because AI is much hyped. There is, as Gartner call it, a hype cycle. So AI is at that stage right now. But what I believe is like AI in general is like people are underestimating what the power of AI is, because everyone right now has his own notion of AI, right? And you being a finance leader, right? So what are your thoughts, right? From your perspective, what do you think are the most impactful AI applications, or what do you see would disrupt the fintech landscape? You know.
Yeah, like as you mentioned, right? AI is really growing, and soon, right? In currently, it's in the evaluation phase, but most of the banks or any financial institutions or fintechs is leveraging where we can do the automate some of the human efforts, especially the you identified key areas. Even many of the fintechs or any bank initially going ahead with the fraud detection is one of the primary area looking for AI assistance and personalization. Already since last couple of years, many fintech companies working on the personalizations where AI will become the very boost of that process, and we are coming more personalization products for the based on the customer. And third is the credit risk assessment. Usually example anytime since last 2 years we automated so many credit risk assessments. Otherwise previously even in US you apply for any home loan or credit card, it will take days and weeks to go to the underwriting and process the payments and identify the customer credit risk. These are all automating. And the second is the process automation. Many banks have the process and different layers of each customer needs. Those are mainly automating and the predictive analytics, right? So these analytics mainly banks not only helping the customer to give their needs, but also helping banks to customize or enhance the products which based on the customer area specific needs. So these are the basic six areas. Even as far as I know, as a most of the fintechs is looking to implement. In coming back, even while your question you mentioned, right? So in the upcoming days, in coming to next year or so, these areas will see the significant growth driven by generative AI or real-time analytics or global demands for inclusivity and resilience. And fintechs adopting these strategically while navigating regulatory and ethical challenges will lead market by at least by 2026. We can see most of the fintechs will automate the fraud detection, personalization, credit risk assessment, process automation, and predictive analytics. And even if you want, we can go dig deeper, right? How we can, because certainly there are two ready-made tools are available, especially GenAI is morely leading. And even most of the banks is doing how they can scalable and real-time adapt to these new patterns we can implement. So it's up to us, Dipti, right? If you want to dig into the further or
Talk a brief about banks, like just in general, and then we can move on to the next question.
okay, sure. Like it's basically right. Fraud detection means it's a real time how we can understand the customer needs and what are the transactions customer making. So thousands of transactions today, example like PayPal and Stripe Pay, using the AI to detect any fraud transactions. So it will watch the entire customer transactions. Even before completing the transactions, it will raise a flag saying, like example, you can say a bank uses the AI model trained historical transaction data, some amount of 10K US dollars transfer from a customer account to an unfamiliar offshore account. The system analyzes the user typical spending patterns, geolocations, and device data, and halting the transaction within seconds for manual review and preventing a potential fraud. This is the biggest advantage by utilizing the AI, and most of the fintechs are more interested to develop this. Even if you look into the current latest McKinsey reports, this project, right, fraud detection hitting the 10 trillion annually by 2025 globally. And AI is ability to detect anomaly faster than traditional rule-based system. That is very critical. And the second one you can say is personalized financial services, right? Where AI uses the customer data, right? Spending habits, financial goals, and demographics to deliver or tailor the financial advice, products, and recommendations and the user experiences, right? You can say, example, right? Any robo advisors are the like betterment of user AI, analyze the user income and expenses and risk tolerances and suggesting a diverse investment portfolio. Uh, and even these will help to approve the loans or doing the customer financial needs. So similarly, right, even credit risk is one of the early started AI. This is the easiest to any banks to start where this AI transformation. So credit risk and underlying is the widely using even currently in US markets, right? It enables the faster and accurate loan approvals, expanding the accesses to credit, understanding the populations, right? Any gig works. I'm not in US or many other Europe countries. You can see persons maybe don't have the permanent jobs or they are working on a gig works. If they need a financial assistance and applying for a loan, they may don't have built a credit history, but they are surveying and they have the enough money due to from their gig works. So by using this credit risk assessment, we can identify the person's habits and work, and we can process the loans also without their proper credit history, even a thin line of credit history. These are all some core areas where banking currently looking after to implement the AI solutions.
No, thank you for providing that, right? Like we are also working on a lot of financial services and in Tudip, and I see that these are the, for especially for the banks, these are the key things, right? And so I think even for insurance and other bankers also, underwriting is another area where, and I'm sure you would agree that that's one of the areas because that takes so lot of time, right? For getting one thing right. So with AI coming in and especially generative AI right now, and later on, I'm sure agentic AI is going to take it up further. This is going to be the next big thing. Beyond the operational efficiency, right? One of the key things about AI, which people talk about, is bringing operational efficiency, right? So, beyond operational efficiency, right? How is AI fundamentally changing the business models within fintech? Are we seeing entirely new services or revenue stream emerge? And how are like traditional financial institutions adapting to it?
Right. Usually, we think from banking side, operational efficiency, most of the people will connect, right, or any, it's cost reduction through automation, but it's not true. AI is redefining how values is delivered to customers, right? How revenue is generated and how institutions positions themselves in a rapidly evolving global landscape. This all other than of operational efficiency, these are all where fintechs are focusing how we can they can use the AI and leverage the AI, especially right in fintech business models by enabling the embedded finance or data monetization, robo advisors or insurtech and definance. These are some of the areas are mostly most of the banks is looking after generating their revenue by providing these example, right? These models creating the new services, example micro insurance or DeFi lending and revenue streams, right? Any data licensing or transaction fees. Like traditional institutions are adopting through partnerships or acquisitions or hybrid models. Example you can take as a embedded finance. It means, right, I am going and doing a dealership with one of the vendor, which is a non-banking systems, which customers ready to pay their services. So they are going to, instead of third party, banking itself directly selling their services to them. I can give the best example saying, right, you can use the Uber is one of the biggest example. And suppose if the any bank tie up with the Uber and their payment system will directly link with the bank. So banks will do understand by the app what is the customer, what is the Uber driver is, how much they are earning per trip, and how much their tip is getting. They know how much money based on their cars they can lend some money and give the some commission to the Uber app, and bankers can take the customers. These are all some not only for operational efficiency side, these are some core areas where banks will look after. And data monetization, right? It's especially the socializable and complaint platforms for AI driven insights and data governance. We are looking after this data. Example, right? I am using my bank app to regularly pay some of the coffee shops or some of my shopping habits. So even banks looking after non-PI data to sell the retail customers or some retail users. That way, even the other retail applications or retail banks, they can target the customers to sell specific products. It's a win-win situation. So not only for operational efficiency, these are all the areas AI is providing routes to financial institutions or fintechs to generate the money. Example, right? Wealth management and robo advisors. So it's a low cost and scalable AI personalizable investing. So now you can consider any bank or any new websites using this AI chart robots, which is a low constants, and it will easily generate the revenue from that. And even InsuTech, so far we have seen many insurances are static in across the worldwide, right? You can pay a monthly insurance or you can pay entire your car yearly insurance, but I may not use my car. Most of the time I'm traveling. So in that case, per mileage insurance, we can customize more based on the customer needs. That's all AI is helping.
No, thank you for briefing, right, what and how AI is helping in general. So basically, I see now AI is not a distant future, right? It is right here while we are speaking. People. It's just that right now the models which people are developing, the models which we are using, are bit still not accessible to everyone, but I'm sure in next 2 to 3 years, when we talk next, or not even 2 years, right? When we talk next, we would see that there are a lot of changes, and AI would have changed our life for betterment, is what I believe. So in general, right, AI thrives on data, right? And the biggest opportunity for leveraging the vast amount of data in fintech with AI. But do you think, like, what do you think is a significant challenges around data quality, accessibility, and privacy heavily regulated in the heavily regulated sector?
Yeah, that's true, right? AI ability to leverage the vast data, especially it unlocks the transformative opportunities also, right? Including hyper personalized products, advanced fraud detection, and predictive analysis, and DeFi optimization. These applications drive financial inclusion and efficiency to new revenue streams, particularly in emerging markets, especially, right? And yeah, certainly, as you mentioned, certain challenges like data quality and accessibility and privacy is heavily regulated sector, especially the banking, such as data cancelling and open banking APIs and governance frameworks, right? So even we are thinking by mid of 2026, most of the firms that balance innovation with compliance will lead the industry and reshaping finances in a data-driven world, right? I can give some examples or the market cap, for example, hyper-personalized financial products, right? AI is all about the large data sets, how the transaction history or the browsing behavior or the diagrammatic data to deliver these hyper-personalized financial products, such as tailor the loans or investment portfolios or insurance plans. An example you can use, right? Any online or neo bank analyze the user spending data. Example, right? Frequent coffee shop purchases and uses AI to offer a micro savings plans that round ups the transaction to invest in a low risk ETF. The user reviews the mobile app notification suggest, right? $50 monthly savings goal, increasing engagement and revenue through fees. These are all some more personalization based on the customer habits. And the second, right, you can consider as a advanced fraud detection and prevention mechanism. You can consider, right? A example, like you can consider a payment platform uses the AI to enlarge the 1 million daily transactions, flagging that 5,000 transfer from a user account to a unauthorized crypto wallet. The system halts the transfer, and within the milliseconds, it prevents the fraud, right? So even this is the biggest cap for all the fintechs. We are assuming by at least the mid of 26, as per McKinsey report, the fraud detection is expecting to grow within 58 billion in AI fintech market. The fraud learning and enables the secure and collaborating fraud models across the banks. This is one of the biggest area which most of the banks is looking after. And second is a predictive analysis. This is for the risk management and investment, not only to know the how customers are spending their money. It's also analyze the risk management and how we can invest the customer money. I can say one example, right? Which where customer also seeking, right? A robo advisor uses AI to analyze the 10 years of stock market data with global economic indicators, right? Example, inflation is coming, how much the market react, and the interest rates high increasing, how much the market reacts. So based on this, if the companies are hiring more, the new tech trend is coming, how the stocks are reacting. Based on this historical data, it predicts how the stock will go up or down. It adjusts the user portfolio to a safer bonds, right? It's saving the losses. That is mostly from AI. Most of the companies is looking after, and especially the even the other area, DeFi. But DeFi is most of the institutions are not looking because few countries, especially in Asian and Europe companies, only dealing with currently with the crypto, and most of the US banks not even doing with DeFi. But that is also have the larger cap in coming days because DeFi is solving the basic needs of the customers, right? That is the lending or the customer bonding or the even the main DeFi will solve the authenticity. If I am purchasing some product from person who sits in India or China, maybe I don't trust. But by using the DeFi, it will authenticate the user. Based on that authentication, I can do the fair lending or fair transaction. That way, the DeFi will help.
Okay, makes sense. So I think you put across a lot of good points around the AI solutions, especially in the fintech sector, right? And especially in banks, right? So which banks are trying to use and incorporate in day-to-day activities, especially to avoid cybersecurity, fraud detections, analyze the credit history, analyze how one is doing, and then so we have worked on a lot of financial products where you have to you at an instant where people can opt for a loan, and on those loans based on that the people can buy a product, right? So with I'm sure with all this AI coming in, the customer experience would get enhanced drastically because with the click of a button one can identify what is the credit history of a person, what is how is the person doing, and whether whether the bank would be able to recover the loan. So the fraud suit detection would become a part of the entire process, and customer can get their loans for the genuine people, they would get the loan, right? So I think that's really good. So pretty much the last question, or I would say here, what's your take, right? Looking ahead 5 years, right? How do you envision the symbiotic relationship between human expertise and AI evolving in a fintech, right? Will AI primarily augment human roles, or do you foresee more significant shifts in the workforce?
Uh, as per, especially in fintech, right? It's a mostly regulatory landscape, right? Every border have their own financial regulatory rules, and fintech is very dynamic. So with the frameworks, right? UI Act or in means especially we currently the fintech completely not depends on the AI based. It requires the more human interaction. The reason one is the regulatory purpose and the global regulatory landscape. The fintech will shapes the how it enforcing the ethical standards and enhancing the customer needs, right? So that is the one major thing. And humans will remain critical for strategy, ethics, and trust and especially under regulatory frameworks, right? UAE Act or some of the China's PIPP. However, the significant workforce shifts will occur with the 30% of roles transmission to the new AI-driven jobs, and it will also brings up the new jobs, as I said, right? So not only for development, but AI will brings the new jobs, right? AI ethics or the model validator or the requiring reskills, right? Even in the today's market, there are certain tools like data robot, UiPath. This enables the collaboration, while platforms like Coursera supports the workflow transitions. Like, and fintech that balance the argument with the proactive role creation with a thrive, particularly in the emerging markets with AI drives the inclusion. So by addressing all these reskills, right, especially for the decision making and adjustments, AI will do the 70% of the work, but human decisions with the AI insights are definitely needed in fintech. It's not 100% automated. And task automation, right? So the repetitive tasks and the support reskilling is also needed. As I told you, AI will complete the task, but we can't depend. Example, like I can't depend completely 100% on AI to take decisions on loan approvals or rejections, where human insights or human supervisor is needed, whether the AI is following the ethical rules and the data models is frequently updating to consider the latest global changes. And AI will, as I told you, AI will generating the new roles, and more customer-centric collaborations will come going forward. It combines the AI insights with human empathy for customer expectations. So this is not completely after AI introducing in fintech. It's not completely detached to the humans. Humans is needed, but AI will only automate few of the repetitive tasks and the vast data to look after.
Sounds good. So thank you for all the insights which you have provided, and I completely agree where what I understand and what I even envision is like, of course, AI is here to stay. We all are going to be part of it. As like we are seeing one of the biggest revolution of the century is what I can say. But at the same time, we humans would have lot to do, and we're not going to be completely replaced by AI, because there has to be a balance between both AI and humans.
Yeah, exactly. Here, first identify the need of roles, right? What we need to do. And even the whatever the staff today, they need to train up on the new AI and ethical skills and integrate with the and align with these roles and integrate with the AI chatbots where the human is really need to interact, right? So there are even certain implementation shifts for this Deepti. Most of the fintechs are in entering phase at the moment where only the using the AI to predefined set of questions to answer. But in going forward, by 26, most of the fintechs using this AI more depending on the AI and human-based chatbots.
Sounds good. Thank you, Kalyan. It's a pleasure talking to you, and
Thank
thanks for all the insights. Have a great day.
you. Bye.